pick that we have ever seen in the history of the NBA draft. I know we started the show this way, but I can never recall talking about a late second round pick this way. Certainly we've seen talent in the second round. We talked about 𝐂𝐫𝐞𝐲. We talked about Draymond Green, but not coming in this way.
And I don't know that we ever will again. I mean, think about the odds of argue whatever you want. One of the best players ever to play basketball. There's no argument about that. You can argue whether he's the best. Okay, fine, whatever he is. But think about that. It's rare for any player to play with their son in any sport. At the same time as your son, you have to be so good and be so good for so long. I don't think we're going to ever see something like this again, especially with the magnitude of how good LeBron still is.
Well, the pick is officially in. It is a moment that we have all been waiting for. So let's send it to Deputy Commissioner Mark Tatum for the Lakers' 55th pick.
With the 55th pick in the 2024 NBA Draft, the Los Angeles Lakers select Bronny James from the University of Southern California.
The anticipation has been building for weeks as to where we would hear Bronny's name called. This is a young man who had an unprecedented spotlight on him in his freshman year at USC, where he played 25 games. He missed the first 8 games of the season after he went into cardiac arrest on July 24th, 2023. He underwent a procedure to treat a congenital heart defect. To see him less than a year later be drafted is a feat I don't think we can lose sight of. He's, of course, the eldest son of one of the greatest players to ever play the game, LeBron James. And now we see the first ever father-son duo in the NBA, Stephen A.
I'm incredibly happy for Bronny James. I remember when, the basketball world stopped because the cardiac arrest situation last summer. I remember being around so many people in this building, scared to death that something awful had happened, and wondering. You see LeBron James entering the hospital. You heard so many different things. You're scared to death of what had happened to him and what was going to come of it. And to see him here just a year later, being drafted by the Los Angeles Lakers, health intact and what have you can't be happier for him.
And when people want to judge his freshman season at USC and the lack of production that you might normally see, you have to take into consideration what those previous 5 months were. Not just a physical comeback from an episode
this isn't
like
that.
A sprained
MCL.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
But the mental comeback and that process for a young person to come back from a situation like that and to be playing basketball again and then to start to try to play it at a high level. There's so much more room for growth for him.
And can you imagine, as a parent, getting that initial phone call that LeBron and Savannah got about their son? And then you fast forward to where they are right now, celebrating, getting to play together. Just think about that range of emotion.
It gives me goosebumps.
Yeah, it is for just life. Forget about the NBA.
Right.
So I think the thing that people that are critical and negative will say, well, they just drafted him because his last name or whatever it is. Yeah. He's not the smallest player in the draft. He's got a 6'7" wingspan. He's 6'1". There's players with much less wingspan in the NBA. I still think he can be a very good NBA player. I don't think we should, as in the media, people will hope it happens right away. He's still very young, and he didn't really have a last year. So it's going to be fascinating to watch his journey.
But because he's so young, and we don't need to expect but so much out of him as a player. You know what the most exciting part is? You got a guy in LeBron James entering his 40th year on this earth that's going to be more hyped, more inspired, arguably, than ever before to pull something out of his hat because he's excited. You talk about something that rejuvenates you, that makes your legs a little bit more spry and you be a bit more energized. Can it get any better than this? Your son is on the squad. You're still a superstar in this game, and you got an opportunity to go out there and do your thing and set the stage for him to come in years and years to come. It's going to be special.
And remember, for a lot of teams, their G League team is out of market. For the Lakers, it's right there, essentially in the same facility. So even when he's with the G League team, they're still together.
But Bronny James has been very clear in the interviews that we have heard from him. He has said that he wants to forge his own path. I want to bring Jonathan Givony in and learn a little bit more about actually the player that the Los Angeles Lakers are getting here in Bronny James.
Malika, I've been watching Bronny James since he was 14 years old. He's made considerable progress year after year after year with his perimeter shooting, with his defensive versatility, with his feel for the game. He still has quite a bit of upside left to tap into. There's a reason why he was a 5-star recruit coming out of high school. He impressed people mightily at the NBA Draft Combine, in athletic testing, in shooting drills, and in 5-on-5 play. Bronny James is a legitimate NBA prospect, and I think he has a chance to develop into a very good player for the Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah, Jonathan, the one thing, too, is that there's been a lot made about Rich Paul not wanting to sign a two-way contract with Bronny James, and that's normal in this process. There were 3 players last year picked in the 50s that signed a 4-year contract for the minimum exception under the second-round pick exception. So this is nothing new. This is what happens with agents, and certainly it's been highlighted just because it's Bronny James here.
Yeah, I think again, everything now and everything has been magnified because of the power of LeBron James. And now it's not going to stop. It's okay, but it doesn't stop now. Now it's Summer League. Then it'll be practice, and then it'll be the first game, and then it'll be the G League game. But you know what? This spotlight's been on Bronny James before.
Right.
I mean, he's had this spotlight on him. This family has had a spotlight on him before. But now at least, you know what? They're playing basketball. Just make it real simple. Just go play basketball.
I say this semi-jokingly. I think that the Los Angeles Lakers as a franchise will love the attention. I think that LeBron will love the attention. I think that Bronny will grow to love the attention. The person we need to be worried about is J.J. Redick. He's not the most patient dude in the world when it comes to dealing with the media and the same question over and over and over again. I think we need to watch that. Other than that, we're good. Okay. Other than that, we're good.
Bronny James, I mean, the first time we may have the chance to see him in a Los Angeles Lakers uniform, as you mentioned, Bob, will be at Summer League, which is just a couple of weeks away at this point. The 2024 Summer League schedule, you can see there, 7:30 p.m., Lakers versus Houston. And I've heard that for our NBA Summer League, as it heats up in Vegas, that we're also going to have a show leading into that. So all the fanfare, the festivities are already going.
That's the off-season.
That's off-season.
That's off-season.
Really?
What are the odds ESPN can get Bob Myers to Summer League?
There's already a Bob-shaped hole in the wall.
That is Woj time.
The dedication of Woj and Malika Andrews is to be admired. I am sure they will enjoy the desert.
Well, the Lakers versus Houston, we are already seeing that on the schedule for the NBA Summer League this summer. We're going to be right back with the final 3 picks of the 2024 NBA Draft. More on the union of LeBron and Bronny in Los Angeles after this.